So, my name is Rash and I was addicted to porn from the age of 7 to the age of 16. Almost 10 years. Almost 10 years. And I still live, I'm 21 now, I still live with the consequences of my actions, which is understandable because it's almost a decade of fucking porn addiction. I'm going to tell you exactly how it affected me and how I managed to fix it. It kind of got brought to my attention at like 14 when I learned about NoFap, right? Because as a guy, you're exposed to the fact that fapping is bad at a very, very young age. It was like years and years of me trying NoFap, no, not November, whatever, never really taking it seriously until I got a girlfriend at the age of like 15. And we dated for about a year, and I was a piece of shit. I was so addicted to porn during this time, and I would watch the most unbelievable shit that I managed to get her to break up with me because I pressured her with sex. I was 15, 16 at the time, wanted to fuck this girl. And I would tell her things like, you know, you're the reason why I'm watching so much porn because you like were not doing anything. I was a piece of shit, bro. And this destroyed this girl. And she left me. Good, of course. After that, I dived even deeper into porn because I had to cope with a heartbreak somehow. I still remember the last time I fapped to porn, which was I was 16, like a week after this breakup, and I remember being in bed watching this fucked up video, bro. That if it ever got leaked, all my channels, everything, all my social fucking proof would get shut down. All the girls that I'm talking to would stop fucking talking to me. But I remember literally having like an out of body experience and seeing myself from the third person and just going, what the fuck am I doing? And I literally, like, mid fap, I just stopped. I put my dick back in my pants, I just stopped. And that was the last time. And it took me like 6 months of dark self-improvement where I could actually get to a point where I saw women as women for the first time. Because what porn does to you is it builds this ideal woman in your mind, which you project onto every single woman you meet, which makes you needy, clingy, and a fucking weirdo pussy when you talk to them. Because in your head, you're not talking to a girl, you're talking to the potential of a porn scene that you've been wanting for so long. The reason why you watched porn in the first place was because you couldn't fuck, right? Was as a coping mechanism to not being able to fuck. So for years, it's been this thing that you wanted but you can't have. But through porn, you've built this ideal woman, this fantasy female that you talk to her every single time you talk to a girl, because in your head you're imagining her in the porn scenes that you've seen. So you classify her as something that you can't get. It wasn't until, like I said, 6 or 7 months, 6, 7, that like of improvement where I actually got my first, well, technically my second girlfriend. And I was porn free and life was good. And I was having sex with this girl. I was a virgin, she was a virgin, and we bonded through that. And I never really looked back at porn. It wasn't until I broke up with this girl and I started to actually fuck like a degenerate that it came back to haunt me. Because it used the same mechanism of the porn addiction, which was not the exact same mechanism, but it was novelty, right? It was stimulus, and I constantly wanted new girls. And I got into a point where every girl that I fucked wouldn't be she wouldn't be good or satisfying enough, and it always felt like there was something else that I could have or something that was missing from these sex sessions with these girls. And I always felt like I was chasing something more. And this got, like, I fucked a lot of girls with this mindset, hoping to find a woman that could scratch that itch. What I didn't understand was that because of all my years watching porn, that itch was unscratchable because I was looking for porn. I wasn't looking for sex. Sex is completely different to porn, but I wanted to scratch the same itch that porn scratched for me. And this is the darker side of porn that nobody talks about. Even after you get rid of it, even after you're not addicted anymore and you have a sex life, nothing will ever be able to scratch the sexual itch as much as porn. Because in porn, you have mastered exactly what stimulates your mind the most, like the heightened point of pleasure, which comes from watching weird porn, comes from exact positions and exact outfits and exact role play. Something that you cannot have in real life. Porn cannot translate to real life, which means you've reached levels of dopamine that you cannot reach with real sex. So this gap, you want this gap to be filled. The sad part of like having had a porn addiction is that this gap can never be filled. And you have to kind of understand and live with what feels like a disappointment when it comes to sex. For the longest time, I always felt like sex was disappointing. I always kind of enjoyed the chase more than the actual sex, because during the chase, I would imagine the sex to be exactly like I used to watching porn. And keep in mind, I was like in these situations, I was porn free for like years, like 2 or 3 years, right? But it was still there. And this is the dark part that nobody talks about porn. Once you're an addict, you are never not an addict. You have to live with this for for the rest of your life. And part of that, for me at least, and I'm gonna be honest, not proud to say it, but man enough to admit it, bro. I can't have social media. I can't scroll. I can't like watch normal TV and normal videos, because I know what would lead to me watching porn again. I know what would. Like an alcoholic, I don't go to bars. Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't sniff vodka. I don't keep alcohol in the house, because I know myself. After 10 years of porn addiction, I know what can push me to go down that path again. And it's a good thing, because, it's bullshit anyway on social media. It's all softcore porn anyway. Like, it's all brain rot. But the existence of the circuits in your mind that are based on this fantasy woman are always going to be there. They can wither away after years, but just know with the smallest bit of attention, they will spark up again. And I've had tendencies during the years to watch porn. Of course I have. And even now, every like month or two, I have like this random urge to go watch porn, even though I've been free for so fucking long. That's just the game. These circuits never go away, and you have to, for the rest of your life, fight against the urge to get aroused over the ideal version of a woman in your head over actual real women. Actual real women are people, and they will never compare to the fucking, what's the word that I'm looking for? The succubi that you see in porn. You will have the urge to chase it in real life, because at one point or another in porn, the pleasure is not really enough. You have to go like do it in real life, right? You have to go like, and in a dark way, this is how weird fetishes are like born, and this is how like violent sexual offenders are born, because porn isn't enough for them, and they have to start doing it in real life. You have to fight the urge to look for porn in real life, because it doesn't exist. For guys like me and you, if you have had a porn addiction, you cannot do it in moderation. You cannot watch shit in moderation. You can't follow girls that shake their ass on social media. You can't fucking watch out like Get Ready With Me outfit of the day and the girl was in like a bikini in the beginning. This is just shit you can't do. And that's just the life you're gonna have to live. If you wanna have a good life with sex and women. For a guy like me and you, the best sexual life that you will have is with the absence of porn and with the absence of any outside stimulation. You basically have to train yourself to get all stimulation from real life. And that's a really hard thing to do, because for so long you got no stimulation from real life and it was all artificial. Imagine if you ate McDonald's, like stop, like really, really hyper engineered foods to like give you the best feeling on your taste buds for like a decade or 2 decades, and now you have to basically teach yourself to eat whole foods again. The whole foods are better for you and you live longer if you eat them, but you have to get used to their taste. Not necessarily a bad taste, but maybe a less stimulating taste. Like, whole foods have their magic and they're simple and they taste good, but only really after you eat whole foods for like, and only whole foods for like a period of time. That's why I know so many guys that even though they have girlfriends that they can fuck consistently, even though they fuck consistently, they still watch porn because porn will scratch that itch. You have to learn to live with that itch, and it's an itch that can never be scratched. That's fine. That's the reality of porn. That's the reality of what it does to your dating life. It makes you a fucking weirdo with women, first of all, and it makes you a weirdo with women for as long as you have this ideal woman that you are chasing, because she doesn't exist. And you constantly putting yourself in a position where you see her in other women, where you're letting the woman judge you, and you're like anxious about it because it's always something that you wanted but never had. If you keep watching porn, even a little bit, even in moderation, you are going to suck at dating. You are going to suck at talking to girls. You are going to overthink. You are going to not know what to say and fucking act all awkward and act like a weirdo. Girls know when a guy watches porn. They know when a guy is a fucking fapper, degenerate weirdo. And I'm telling you, you can't even do it once a week or once a month. You have to cut it out completely. That's it. And it's only after you've had like a month or two free from porn and all types of stimulation is when you can actually see women for what they are, and you can actually have a good dating life and a good sex life. That's it. You can no longer go back to porn, especially after like having it in your life for so long. You can never go back, and it's something you have to live with. So yeah, it's tough, but we have no other choice. You know, you want to be able to fuck. You want to be able to attract girls, to talk to girls, to risk girls, to make her wet with your speaking. As long as you watch porn, you will never be able to do that. So your only choice is to quit. That's it. The first link in the description is my program for beginners. The second link is for advanced guys. That's what I'll go for you.